Welcome back, family. Another week of McKinnen Mondays. We are tapping into what looks like chapter 12. And let's go ahead and get started. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. I would love to have some sort of discourse at some point with you guys. And if I can get enough comments, then I can do some Q&A. We'll start doing Q&A. Once we get finished with McKinnen Mondays, we'll transition into another set of my thoughts and things and what we read and things of that nature. So if you haven't gotten the book, again, it's on Amazon. It's also on Barnes & Nobles, everything online. Again, I started work, so I haven't gotten a chance to get around to the getting to the bookstores and things of that nature. So I'm kind of trying to catch up. So once I get an opportunity, I'm definitely going to do that, maybe this weekend. So we'll see. I hope you guys enjoy. We're going to get right to the chapter. I took even less time recovering so that I can get back to work. I even took over some shifts for Michael because he took part-time in a second job. But he said he cannot say what it is at this time. I totally understand. That has become the standard for us in the order to stay out of trouble or to keep things like a job or peace of mind. Unlike Mason, Bill is a loud baby, crying and screaming all night, and just fussy most of the time. Mark has found ways to keep him quiet and occupied. So a few things there. This chapter is based around Molly becoming a mother. In this chapter, there are 2 babies were born within the chapter, and it just kind of speaks to motherhood and what she's learning herself as a mother. A few things I want to speak about that I'm clearly not a master at all. But just based on my observations and some things that I've seen and things and topics that can be talked about amongst mothers and, older children who, may want to seek that at some point in their lives and are curious about it just out of curiosity. So I think also you get to a certain age where you're not so much as curious about it. You just kind of leave it alone, which is great. It allows you to learn yourself and to grow as a person. But I think it's good to kind of get an understanding based on the experiences that you see around with others. The first thing I want to talk about and that I observed is how babies receive the world. Again, I'm not a mom. Of course, I'm not an expert in this, but I noticed that babies receive the world differently. And I also noticed that when babies are born, they are reliant on other things, because I know this for a fact. When babies are born, they don't see very well. So they're relying on a lot of other things, survival techniques, to eat. They express themselves through discomfort. Energy, they really read well. I've learned that. Like if you're calm, you're at peace, good intentions, they read these things and they can feel them and they can sense it. Almost like animals, human instinct, human beings. We're of the animal kingdom as well, which is the most sophisticated, but they can sense these things because their sense of sight isn't aware, so they got to rely on their other senses, and energy is a big one that they can read. Body language they can read as well. Just when you hold them or you're around them or they hear your voice and they can sense things in your voice, whether it's nervousness, tension, calm, peace, happiness. They can sense these things when you're speaking to them. So I think it's really, really important to monitor that and also look at how they, receive the world, because some babies don't want to come out of the womb. They find it comfortable. They don't want to deal with what's out there. Maybe they can sense it and they don't want to deal with it, or they don't want to be a part of it. And then some just can't wait. You could tell when they come out, or they're peaceful, or they're quiet, they're happy all the time. Like, you just never know. But you can kind of sense it if you observe and pay attention to how they react to things, Pregnancy phase is another one. Not an expert at, just what I've observed. Bodies kind of tend to get used to it. Again, same thing with energy, same thing with sensing things. Sometimes you can't control some of those things, but sometimes it's something that becomes a routine your body is accustomed to. And your body doesn't adjust back to normal if you have another one right away, right? So that's a unique situation that, again, choice, and I don't want to dive into because I'm not an expert, but from what I've observed is that it just depends on the person. It depends on their energy level, depends on what their mentality is, pain tolerance, health, discipline, immune system. That's a huge thing now, right? The immune system, based on what we're kind of going through in this state of situation, current events. But I think it's all relative. It's almost like a melting pot of things that can turn into something else. So another thing that's really a topic of discussion in this particular chapter is Molly's not expecting her brothers to kind of come to her rescue. They're not her brother's kids, they're her kids. So she, finds that, I believe it's Mark, who really comes to her rescue and is really there watching the kids, educate the kids. Mark feels like it's important to educate while young and help and monitor behaviors and habits, and to make sure that the training and the process of learning is efficient. So he steps up and kind of takes that role, rather than being in his room all the time doing the research that he does. If you read the book, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He takes the time to help Molly raise her sons and help Molly to get them going in the right direction when it comes to academics, because Mark knows how important academics is, unlike Michael, who relies on that social game and really does some things and kind of gets himself in a pickle a little bit. You kind of hear about from what I just read. But yeah, just to kind of finalize McKinnen Mondays, time spent with a child and how you mold them makes a really great effect. And it basically boils down to what you teach and what you expose them to, what routines you initiate with them, and how you mold them and what direction you mold them in the time that you spend with them. Because the more time you spend with them, the more that a child or even a person can kind of, if they enjoy it or they, are not forced to, but it's coincidentally around a certain person, you kind of adopt and adapt to some of those behaviors, and you start to, use them from the way somebody laughs or what people like, or, what they expose you to. All of those things kind of fall into place. And again, talking about exposure, it just kind of leads to the next book. And based on all of those concepts and how we grow and evolve as human beings, and incorporate that process, and just to be cognizant and recognize what that process looks like. So I hope you guys enjoyed the quick 10 minutes of McKinnen Mondays. Again, please like and subscribe. I'd love to hear more from you guys and your comments. I want to get it out there a little more exposure. So I'm going to start doing different things, and I hope you guys like and enjoy it. Again, I appreciate you, family. Continue to support, and I appreciate it. I would love to have, again, and I may have a panel with topics and discussions for those who have read the book already. I would love to reach out and do something like that, to like have a round robin to where we can discuss some of these topics and I can kind of explain what the mindset is and where it comes from. So again, if you haven't purchased the book, go ahead and do that. It's definitely one I think that you would enjoy. And again, my social, Dr. Melchris2, MELCHRISRISTWO. And, get on there, say your piece as well. And the link to purchase the book is also on there. And I'll see you guys next Monday.